Omade shema munyina ha UTV asuni omemu nsem nya mahodo so dia osamufo asonso no ene na wi Midday esomo kasebo ekwan so eniani mu nsem bi ene se mining license ababeto dwa sesese aban atwe de afiri honomo wasan atwe asensen enti die enti enam so ama wasigina ye de munchemu ebeba saasusu no obo amane se Yera John Dramani Mahama oye Ghana mampanyini wakwa akɔhye ayonkofa ye da Sierra Leone o my Ghana entamu no emu kena idi nyina eye nsrahwe a wode ekopie ho no ewon samfufuro mu nso finance minister ede atodwa wo hwe de Cedi na hoɔden na kane no se eba fom awotimi se eba ni hwim na kyese o hare so ne ahoɔden so se hunu se ato ne bo ewo saa ekwan no eso Edom kuma wa mashebedwafie akeka bi e de afa budget a yebekin kane mashebedwamu se yakonhoma sika no ho se emudie pa nyade a ebi wo mu ase akoye akohwie wei ene nsem bi a wode atodwa ensema fofo bi kan werum ho na wie mu somfo amma sapon kuma jese Midday sommo ebusuafo na mekai mo se miti Snash Beauty Parlor omo ewo awudome runabout ene ye mitisa so ena TMC fashion ene pama atade a ehemi obetumi ato wonkra na wama obi ewo Facebook on Instagram o munyina edi wonkwi ewo honomo afe yentinsi ensem no emu Ghana mampanyin Yera John Dramani Mahama ede nsrabo akopie mu Sierra Leone na wone eho mampanyini akodi enkomo na wonom ahye ayonkofa ewo Ghana ne Sierra Leone no entam kena se ediebe ya ebetumi ato aso na akonkan eno da nchen a wasan abo wonom abaso tsetena pa wone Ghana de hye a ewo honom atena eni asomdwe a wonom enya ewo man mu.
Our purpose for this visit is a short working visit, but also in the spirit of African tradition to say thank you to my brother, President Madabio, for the honor he did me in graciously attending my investiture as president on the 7th of January 2025. And so, as we do in African tradition, I should have come the next morning to say thank you, but better late than never. I was busy opportunity. And we thank you for the kind hospitality. I think that President Madabio's representative, and we believe that the Permanent Joint Commission for Cooperation is going to be the best avenue on which we can build this cooperation together. On sub-regional issues, as an old face but a new face in ECOWAS again, we discuss issues to do with the issue of terrorism and the issue of the current Alliance of Sahelian States and ECOWAS, and we compared notes because he had previously visited the three countries and I had just recently visited, so we compared notes, and we believe that it can form the basis for us to continue to cooperate as members of the same sub-region. He also briefed me on the effort that is being made to get a common African position on the issue of Security Council reform, and we are very much in support of the efforts that he has been making in that regard, and I pledge to him that we'll continue to work with him so that he can be the advocate for doing that.
Ansana mampanyi ekwa shia Sierra Leone mampanyini no woni Ghana de hye so edi ahia ewo Sierra Leone bisa wonom hawo ahodo a wo famu ewo ho se de be ya wokohia mampanyi na obetumi de sa wo hawo ni nyina so ato wo manim wasan da wonom ase asan da Sierra Leone mampanyi so ase se sabie kronto ade wo bi na awie yie nanso so Ghana fo ba he won ho ntechima enti woda na se ontonko so a no nom tena somdwe mu na Ghana fo nso nyomu famu de emfa mo Sierra Leone eni o my Ghana empuntu.
Many presidents also akasa. Also on omonemo tidin na also Ghana for mo ya there. Enti wa come from wa bom abaso. Permit resident permit. Okay. Permit. No ni asemo. Yo, okay. Tax no so airport I am the P there, Abahana Boshayan. No winking at the
And I'm very much glad to see you. And I pray that day to day you will come as often as possible to come and check on us. I'm very, very much excited. So I'm kind of lost for words. But then in all, I thank you for coming.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Like I said, President Bio says Ghanaians are peaceful. You're doing your work well, and I mean they live very peacefully with you. And so he actually praised the Ghanaian community, and that's why he said after our meeting I should come and meet with you and extend their appreciation for the work you're doing here. Yeah, the few issues you've raised about the permits and also about you talked about tax or something. Okay, well, I'll try and raise it and see what progress we can make. Yeah, but well done.
Thank you.
Yes.
God bless you.
I will see you when you come home.
We are saying for you to and some no so. You are to force an air man for to some for now. They are two dresses. I will share a phrase say, Sabre ya you woman, dear friend, is a first quarter na feno abosumi and sa a dick kainwa. Who said na Cedi no, na who then a tiff bar from pa a cocoa gina 5.7%. And nay a fear your woman 2025 quarter crow year mo Cedi no age na 5.3%. And ti unu say na suti say a tikra a tenin kakranka kan to mo bom homo den said your my sikasem no e betumi e jane na so manfo nyina kan yakoma ento yeyem.
Right, Honorable Speaker, as of March 14, 2025, the Ghana Cedi exchange rate, Ghana Cedi and dollar exchange rate was 15 cedis, 53 pesos to a dollar. And the Cedi has depreciated by 5.3% against the US dollar. Mr. Speaker, this compared to 5.7% over the same period in the year 2024, when the Cedi dollar exchange rate was 12.6 to the dollar. Mr. Speaker, last year, the same period, the Ghana Cedi has depreciated by 5.7 as against the same period, 5.3 this year. This shows a reduction in the depreciation by 0.4%. Mr. Speaker, the Cedi depreciation is driven by tight FX liquidity, increased demand from energy sector payments, and commerce. Mr. Speaker, the Cedi has, however, witnessed stability since the 19th February on the back of central bank's forex intervention aimed at improving FX liquidity and market confidence. To maintain this exchange rate stability that we've seen relatively from February 19th, the Ministry of Finance, working with the central bank, have outlined a number of policies, and this include the establishment of the Ghana Gold Board to enhance the generation of foreign currency to help the central bank accumulate enough forex and to intervene as and when they are supposed to intervene. The Bank of Ghana will also continue the implementation of its FX forward action to support the stability of the Ghana Cedi. The government is also front-loading its fiscal consolidation through expenditure reduction, and we believe that will also help in the support of the Ghana Cedi. Mr. Speaker, aside, we are also planning, as part of the 24-hour economy, to introduce a number of measures which will be announced to Parliament in the coming days, and we believe that will help as a result of our import substitution policy to also support the Ghana Cedis.
for ye call and some fufuromo. Na bano se eskasam entutu yesi ya de budget ya kwa tujwa na ya de amrashibedwa fortuna se na wobobo ho. Eno ena kane o menfo to samfo ya sesi ya osaye minority ranking member wo committee on finance and parliament Dr. Enim Adam ede atujwa se. Wo hu ne se budget no a ye de betujwa no. Enema bebre nsisi so. Na de wo kan baako ene se sa wo hwa budget no e ba beto odwa se enwomasua ene ho niema ahodo ehia sese ye nyina no aban no atwa 1.3 billion Ghana cedis ene de bedi sa adwuma no enso so wo se wo hwemu a wo hunu se ye 800 million Ghana cedis ene wo motena ase pa hu ze ye sika botena aban de ato enso so ya bebo din se 1.3 billion to ndi wo hunu se entokro deda eniema ni mu a enhye da entwaye.
If you take the budget on the financing side, for example, Mr. Speaker, the budget projects to receive $720 million from the IMF and $600 million from the World Bank, which are tied. But what the minister also does not understand is that it is not only the money that will come from the IMF and the World Bank. The reliefs we got as a result of the skilled negotiations we did with our international Euro bond holders, $4 billion in outright debt cancellation and $7.5 billion in debt service relief will all be lost to Ghana. This is why the minister, after declaring that Ghana has breached, is now thinking about applying for waivers because they know the implications of what the minister has done. Mr. Speaker, this will be in addition to the policy credibility Ghana will lose of breaching an IMF program, an important yardstick for attracting international investors into our economy. Mr. Speaker, what the minister has done is just put Ghana in unnecessary challenges. And as we often ask, who will bear the consequences? It is the people, the very people who have voted for them to come and solve problems. It's the very people, innocent Ghanaians, who will suffer from this. Mr. Speaker, when we look at revenue performance, in 2024,
Honorable Minister, conclude.
In 2024, we achieved a nominal growth of about 8 billion Ghana cedis. This budget, 2025 budget, the minister is projecting a nominal growth of 38 billion Ghana cedis. Meanwhile, the revenue measures outlined in the budget are very weak. They are mostly compliance measures, and I'm wondering who can quantify compliance in revenue terms. So how is the minister going to achieve this revenue projection? And this is why, Mr. Speaker, I am saying that this budget lacks credibility, the numbers do not add up, this budget will not solve any problem. It won't provide the jobs, and it won't provide the economic growth that they are promising.
Mr. Speaker, they are surprised that we are running an economy where we understand that as social democrats, you don't take money from the poor to take care of the rich. So when they were taking money from the poor, Ghana now has a president which is very empathic, a humane president who says the poor has been shouldering the development of our country, so I am going to give you respite. So here, today, you will find that we are abolishing all those taxes that you impose on the poor. E-levy is no more. We are abolishing e-levy. And tomorrow, he will be with me to move the processes towards abolishing that tax so that His Excellency can sign it into an act and repeal it. Mr. Speaker, I heard my good friend talk about Nkukon Ketenkete. We are not only doing Nkukon Ketenkete, we are also going to do Nam Ketenkete. We want to process the chicken so that we reduce the import bill of $300 million that we are using to import chicken. And you should be praising the president for such a wonderful policy.
Yɛkɔ yenua bema Macbyron eho na ababeto edwase aban de ababeto abonten wa friends and trofo se mining license ahodo a womode ema won metu fom agudie ni nyina 50 December 7th saa bre no mu afi etwa mu no wo mu asan age ni nyina na yebisa se na bosse ne sei enchemu be ne de ma ye wo saa ensem Mark otemenka ma hi
Oi Mama Joso
yo yera woni wonyamfo Emmanuel Amakofibu a ekasa no nchemu be no de ma ye de nti a aban eje sa license de free dwumayefo no ensem
yo without say eya amapay na eya ora Amakofibu ya land natural resources minister on science minister honorable Mutala Mohammed holding joint press conference on Kranha edu two just say the share after December 7th elections, you know, mining license of small scale sector, no, mining license for more money na no, revoking. Said this recommendation, no, if we committee be put in place. So was after December, after December elections, no, and after December 7th, no, license for more na kind of say EPA for this recommendation. Forest Commission, Water Resources Commission, and my recommendation say after December 7th elections, no, a year license from Mumina and for Quamuchaman, for Dona, Cook, a year quiet more, I say, Hoyan two, you know, I want to go home, move to Galamsey. Where so a car buying on Shisha, they to Galamsey, no, it's a amount for Dona, the licenses are, most of the licenses are for the right, and that's the right regulatory kind of framework. And some among issue more. It's almost share after all these state agencies. I should share you know, and more I call it after December 7th elections. No, all companies or mining licenses for small scale mining are more are revoking. And that's what you need to into what would give our license maybe after December 7th. There's almost you see a chat or license. I see I'm found so EPA license so you and into the Minister of Science to assess the situation. As I said, wow, dear no, it was and I said, one more year, so. Minister also said in 2024 alone, 2024, excavated a cover of my about 6.something billion Ghana cedis. 6.something billion Ghana cedis. Excavators good door. On Mokaba in 2024. 2024, about group, quiet more, quiet, essay, so. And also about the sabo, about to there's a kind of say importation of excavators, no, about regulating the importation of excavators. As excavators about my way in only 2024, no, also, and about $6.2 billion. And Mokaba, excavators from Mokaba. Or see and just a man so say, a buy not say, the same day, almost the pass the Galamsey, or one number so a Forest Commission, and the other agencies in now, sorry, or Mohammed. So, and one of the actions of more taking is that, or maybe revoking all the licenses after December 7th, or more issue, if you almost say a year license, a year or more, right, say it's mining war, forest reserves, mono, LI 2462, and also some more Juma. Our friend say Parliament and as a law, so much near revoking the law. No, so now they are more license mining. Our kind of say quite been so many now. If it's more young, sure. But another added up to climate change. And we are one and so funny. I don't know. And to me, so say, quiet so say this animal. Minister say almost so. And until that from this time on, almost the Kwanswa. Then I'm saying, no matter who ye pa. You know, what would the license, mining license, small scale mining license from December 7th, Biano, almost say, or much in time, a man called Jumabia or Hobium. And some Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofibu, our Lands and Natural Lands Ministry, and I don't know.
Byron ebeda as papa ne wa manebo empanyini si ka kum ye gene koku enumunti eno na wawesa ede ahyen na yetoa ensem no so a ebusua ababeto dwase mrahye bedwam ehuri pa ne nyina kokogina se LIB ya legislative instrument bi ampanyimfo pese wo mo sacred instead e be ye betumi de atu former gudie tuo basabasa no a ese ye nsuo ni akwaye no so no LI no 2462 na no na wo che se ebeboa na katumi a ekura aban na wode ma enkofo kwan mo ko ye kwaye britu ahoduo mu ema wo mu kotu efoma gudie ko twa enua guo no saa eniema ni nyina ebetumi abre na se na no ene wo chese dom kuma ne chese sei aban na no wote so dada no wo ye enhyehyeye enti samuka se mu betu anu agu sesia yi abeye foforo de a ene na esi paachia se no krampo bekoso a ewo samudi nkasasie ni eni ntie ni akukudam ho bon sa adwumadie yi mu no edi ehia na yehunu kwampa ese ye de fa so ne ensore prekope mfa li emeto mpanyifo anim se ye mobo eho.
The Speaker, on the basis of this provision, what it means is that if the paper is laid, the instrument is laid, and there is any amendment there too, it can be effected, and it will require a certain number as provided for to even annul or amend or do any other thing to it. So on the basis of this provision, this House reached a consensus that allows what we call the pre-laying to enable the committee engage further on this matter, so that when the final instrument together with the minister is laid, that is, they fine-tune it and is laid, at least we know that it's gone through all the processes. So I shall pray you to place the application on ice for now and rather direct that the minister goes through what has become known as a pre-laying ritual. Mr. Speaker, we are already here, and we are clearly not breaching any provision of the Constitution. As he said, it's a practice that we evolved so that when we are in a corner, we can wriggle our way out of it. But in this case, we are very confident about what we are doing. We are clear about the matter, that the president doesn't want the power. He wants it taken away. He doesn't want any money in forest reserves. He doesn't want the law to stay any additional day beyond where it is now. So, Mr. Speaker, let us lay it. If the committee meets and then the committee thinks that there should be a revision, they can come here. But I am assuring you that this side of the House is clear on the matter. I will not vote for any motion, any attempt to change anything in the regulations that are being laid. So, Mr. Speaker, let's lay it and then let's move on. We don't need any pre-laying ceremony in a matter that we are all clear on.
Mr. Speaker, by practice, it will be law even without Parliament taking a decision. Once a report is made, sometimes even the report is not brought before us. Once the minister lays the report, as he is doing, and the majority leader have urged you to allow him to lay it, because, Mr. Minority Leader, the president is responding to a national emergency of a crisis in Galamsey. And he is determined to say that take off my authority and mandate as president so that the power to grant it is not. So, Mr. Speaker, what the majority leader is saying is that, yes, if it is a matter we want to do pre-consultation, he says it's one clause, one off. What consultation? I'm taking off a power and a mandate. This House is just there that I think that this House was not going to have any opportunity to say we are voting. Say today he has the numbers as majority leader, so he's the only person who can marshal a 2/3 and say no, annul this instrument. But let's not get there. The matter of Galamsey is a matter for which this country must build consensus, because it's affecting livelihoods, it's affecting the future sustainability of our country, and I do not think that this should tear our heads where the majority leader have left. So, Mr. Speaker, I think that is proper that the minister lays it. Then we count the mandatory 21 days, after which effectively it becomes law. I thank you.
Owing to the fact that by a lot of Supreme Court authorities, once the document is laid, you can dot I or cross T unless you have two-thirds majority in line with Article 11.7, to annul it. Honourable members, we know the agency involved in the ally before us, but with all due respect, I will want to direct and urge upon the Subsidiary Legislation Committee
na nanu kasa hodie bi akoso ye fa post budget ho ye kwan a mpanyufo behwe na ye port ahodo no mudwumadi atumi akonkan afeso so 24-hour economy a aban ebo nto nyina wode eto omanfo anim se ebeye adwuma ma mabunu nya adwuma ya afeso so port dwumadi ne nkoye kwantem kro se afe gina fa akonna niema delay sa andi echemu na ebi kwa anwumre ba na nadwo ne na nopa no a ebetumi aboa ama niema so aye kwantem
I know 24-hour economy is a groundbreaking policy which will help this economy so much. However, the presenter made mention of a single window, which will be a tool for the purposes of exporting the products that we will have here to the overseas market. We have a teething problem at the ports, especially the single window, which is currently being operated by ARCOMS as a freight forwarder. That is one of the major problems when it comes to delays at the ports, which I think will hinder the progress and the activity of the 24-hour economy, because I know it is hinging on export. What are we going to do, or what will we do to be able to change the dynamics now at the port so that we are able to expedite action when it comes to 24-hour economy activities? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Amanwe sofo onimunyamfo Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak soso de eboshe kese ato omanfo anim se eyade a obehwe na woni omanfo to samfo yero ato force na aka wonsa abachi mu na wahwe se fire service for ombetumi anya akade ne niema obetumi di aye adwuma sanse za wohwe niema a wo mudi di dwuma na edi dumugya ne ho cars ne ade a wohunu se ache ebi kura di mfie be se aduonum ne akire na omudi ye adwuma sa emwa.
Mr. Speaker, the Ghana National Fire Service has a total number of 247 fire appliances across the country. Out of this number, 199 are in commission and 48 are out of commission and are being worked on at the various mechanical workshops of the service in the regions to ensure their continuous use. Mr. Speaker, appliances include all firefighting trucks, recovery trucks, turntable ladder, hydraulic platforms, and water tankers. Mr. Speaker, the Ghana National Fire Service has a total workforce of 17,514 personnel. These personnel have been deployed throughout the country to perform various operational duties. However, the service lacks adequate and required modern firefighting logistics to confront fire outbreaks, as you can attest to recent fire outbreaks at several markets throughout the country. Mr. Speaker, to address the situation, the Ministry of Interior has earmarked the Ghana National Fire Service as one of the state institutions to be retooled. Effort will be put in place to replace all the old fire tenders with state-of-the-art multipurpose fire tender. So we are currently in talks with the Minister of Finance for him to appreciate that the newest tender that we have is over 15 years, and definitely we need to be able to retool the fire service. Knowing that the envelope is tight, the finances are difficult, we are talking to the finance minister to make room so that we'll be able to retool the fire service, because, Mr. Speaker, as the House may know, between October and February, we have an average of about 50 fires across the country, and sometimes it is so devastating and very difficult. But obviously their tools are obsolete and we need to be able to retool them. And I'm sure the finance minister is very much aware of this and is taking steps to assist the ministry to get these fire tenders. But unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, I will not be able to tell
when exactly we'll be able to do this. It is our hope that we'll get done like yesterday, meaning that they are very urgent. But because the finances is rest with Minister of Finance, I will not be able to give a specific timeline.
Also for our no na share ya setena ne oba ade bobre ye ne ye nsunsuanso a ede ba so de fe ne se climate no so ensam ye onmunyamfo isifo seido ese wone de wo hwe ese aban ede nhyehyɛ pa wodo nyina begu akwa so na wonu a wano bene saa adwumadi ewie mu bobre nsakraye ye ade nsunsuanso bone bre yen yan kasa nyamede adu asase su no ye beye na akyekyere ye nyina kete se de beye asa abrabo bone ne ye betwe ho afiri ho na ene pa nyame dondrom ye yenya mu mfaso ne mom enkofo haw ene yade emfa emreye.
So I can assure you that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, he means business as far as, mitigating the effects of climate change, adapting to the climate change, and also ensuring that everything that we do on the ground does not affect future generations. Very important. And that is what makes my position very unique. Sometimes people will say that, oh, is it a duplication? No, it is not a duplication. It's a standalone, even though it is not I'm a Minister of State advising, but it's a standalone. Okay? But I agree that we cannot do it alone. We have to collaborate with, existing ministries who are into climate, activities. And that is what I'm doing. For the past 1 week, I've been meeting my colleague ministers from other sectors, sensitive sectors, for us to see how we can fashion out a collaborative, plan where we could have occasional meetings and things like that. It should be possible for us to do a similar one for the CSOs. Okay, how do we rally people around so that occasionally we can have a conversation around things that will help us mitigate or adapt to climate change threats.
The ministers be part of this dialogue because we are hoping that of all the conversations we are going to have, it is going to drive political action. We needed to show him from the various stakeholders, from the various activists, from the various people who are impacted by climate change, what is really happening on the ground and how those voices will reflect in policies and how those policies can actually drive action, actually impactful action. So we're looking forward to the outcome of this dialogue. And most importantly, we are going to put together the people's statement, which is going to have a combination, or let's say the totality of our concerns and everybody's voice that is coming together, so that we present that to the minister or to the powers that be, hoping that this would actually be the people's statement, true statement of the people as regards to climate change and what this statement can actually do, that is to drive impactful political action.
Deputy CEO Edema Ghana Tourism Authority Yerua Gilbert Abeku Santana Ede atudwa sesa wo hwe yemampanyi John Dramani Mahama said ye wo sin kitten wo hye na so afo se won mo nkyere de owo de okura wajapade e wo nsam ansa na wo befa dibia to ho so obesom Ghana na e ma hunu se wo papa o wadwempa na wo tema so so edema timamfo se wo mo bia emekukuro man japade mfa emonebo.
Yabebo mampeni His Excellency John Dramani Mahama abaso me kramenti we bi da say o mampeni ama ne appointees warning didi kan say o ma obi a deadline as say you declare your asset the me bi gina say me kire ejapade a mewo nyina na me de koma auditor general na omogitum say de o kina bi no ye nhwemu a anka say oba aban mu na obewi a niema na obepe ejapade ono mampeni na dikan etusa na mo no nti example and say obia say obia ye one nya there's punishment and two you can be removed the betumi you edi afi adwumanim who say we leadership by example omampani e de nshebi amaye uhwe obia anim a as obia ye sharp wakase wa wan ko declare wo assets ye be fine wa na say ye be sanction wa na ye be you afim and we are back. The Tosumiunu state-owned enterprises said they siga and we organize forum media man. Obi our responsibility. Say state-owned enterprises into inform honto aban so when you are an income generating entity, or your company will be to me a sika. Now the whole to a buying so now they be a government subvention, now pay government bailout or society and in CBO. Not just say in a year's time, you better will be a performance agreement. There will be a performance agreement. Say, o budget ni sike say wo de adwumani wo ye manebro so ana wo boka ana say eka losses eba ye be yiwadi. I think say sa ena etie wasanso aka say some of the state owned enterprises no omunka hu say so man perform here ye beton ana ye be partnership aban koso amboka na de bio disika eba be share aban adwumam. I think say that is how private sector operate. Enti resetting Ghana and such a mampeni jomama edeba no ebi ni say ye ma aban adwumayefo entena ho enye nhwehan say oh ye ho che kra aban disika beba ese enso ye keka ye ho ni etu anamo na epesika enti ye bebo mampeni abaso wa hye yen ama esese ye gina ye na so na o se corruption so de enya ade a obesoso so ebesre say ye nyina ye ntie na so pam ni ntu anamo ne mfanye adwuma na animonyam embra omampani ayade pa se wafa mebunu youth nkoa no de na hye na abemu eti. This is the time and the moment, as I say, ye mebunu de be e say the future of this country is in the hands of the youth. O man da chi e wo mebunu nsem ye de amaye eti ense se ye feli dia ene emfa nkoma enkokrafo no.
Yetwa ensem so na no pay ewo adehensroma eso abna cheibuache etnase ene onimonyamfo Stephen Amwa ya wo ye mrahwebedwani ndo ma adehye wo nhyiaye so woni ere hwetwe nkomo na wo bisa na sem de fa common fund no se hwe me ye ka common fund pa si MPB a wani common fund na wodi aye adwuma aboa ne manfo a na ye mia se obi fufuro bitimi firi akye ba se wono so ye MP na otumi de ne common fund ye de esese wo de ye ma empuntuo ba ne mpeso aso a saada no amesi former frimadwa so se mrahwebedwani
menye holy but my life nyina e Bible to what kind Bible here or say this world that we live in is a world of the devil. O see we are we obonsam we are see the toda you see edom any chi the oso ntakrache ya make what to say enya menku conscience be o ma anko but when you say metiwe obi cultural report about Ashanti region ade no mko no me no di picture to animo comedian na be say madam me kra e wonyame obo me nsem there was nothing like any campaign na me what time no akote campaign so be care yeah campaign no so time no kra na ne ade me akọ financer IMF nsensam ene e Korea China o India ye o say ene ye trase adwumantimi no na me now buso mo Friday ni me sima najo na mo constituency me ame the megaphones na market almost 30 places we almost mo call it you almost ba ko mo call Santase market the dwomfo ne say o mo report o mo nya firi ho e dwomfo no o mo tu o mo firi ba bi ko na nya me yesi no mo person mo market ye me tell am call first day me mo 10,000 100 million old Ghana city so mo fantia security ni ade ye beto abeye me ma wo mo 100,000 1 billion so mo nche emfanya adwuma o mo nya no matua no crazy scan crash metie obi ani na mfanya hwe adwuma me kwa sabi o mo yam sabi me president ndi ebi obi abeka sabi opa ewia me di dwom ho kwen mada no number be ma me ne nkasa o be frɛ no ansa na bi abi me kwa me ne be kasa eso mo call Santase about the biggest taxi rank o mo kro mo buofu randomly me kotun say ni edin komato da o na onye ohun enya bi 50-50 bi me bi 3-5,000 eko madam everything about the report me nka say me perfect a big lie the me ma no me constituency mo pa mo follow ya mra na me sign me sika na me common fund sika aban dia ma MP you have your discretion to use for whatever any me abotom sika de ma ye no si enya MPs 10 the whole Ghana the first 4 years onye obi no aye de ma ya me resign natural of course.
Yankoshe ye kronketua ene yempatamu na yebohwe yakopiemo ewo Upper West Achem District ye wo epoemantem na namno ahemfo ya ewo ho e de adesre atro abanyanim se wosre no adada Roma entempe ya wonhwe na Upper West Achem ekwan no a etuamu kopiemu bodwe ase wo mfimfim mantem no wonsiesie mfama wonum se de beye be ma hemfredie no akoso wano
mesre aban a wote so ene empanimfo a omoye akwan se efiri mipom junction ekopim mankron kwanta efiri ayesu akon ekopim bodwase ekwan we se mintwantro a se nye kwa menkroma na ye ya na ejeje Lawrence na ye ekwan no ekwan ni nyina sei na ye be kai se aban a etwamu eye John Mahama emra no wa aban mu no obeye ya dom se bi ya ye wo nkurase ha no ebesi secondary school ewo nyanoa de ma ya ye wo mpotamu ha sebi eburu sebi enyado enkomo a menimu edi enye se meye campaign ama obi anase meye campaign e de ama aban a na oteso a wasanso aba sebi ohun se nkurase no sukuu ni bi wo ho a emu kwan wa nti awofo no ntumi mfa mma no nyeden enko sukuu won man panimfo mehwe efiri mipom junction ekopem mankron kwanta efiri ayesu akon ekopem bodwase kwan no omomodin se obeye kwan no amayen na wama enkanea so street light awo wo sukuu numu ene ekwan no so nyinara na se akora soro ahomachimpo na se oko sukuu na onamfom ana wote bicycle sukura mpo a ehu bia ntumi nyeden emmo no
ewo me next two electoral areas honomo secondary school o anka kwan ni ya nkwala no woko sukuu a wo mre ezenze kwan ni nyenti ebo enyumre sese de kwa wonye kampo na wafa agisa motu ene edo obeko di esra aban ni se omo meye kwan no emayen se na ebe ya se na nkrofo etu kwan no enkwanye asodi emayen
Ghana bosome march de ye yesi ho se ye memu nkoa ye ho ade ye nuane ye amane ye mamre ye kasa ye didie ye na ye eno ho daro na ye bo nam sayo so ama UTV ye fa ewo bono East Mantam wono abo anan kobisa nkrotu a wo hono edin nkro na bosse de nam so a ebaye kro ba ko a sese wadi ho dwuma eye nipa hia moa eye den ye nya asa edin no empanyufo achemu amomanfo so do hawa hodo atudwa nipa hiamu community no yebehu na kira kwan wotachi mankentampo kwan so eye baabi a wokase wo pa abakwasem wani obenya wo hono pa a historic community wo bunu manso yebehu na kira kwan wo Nkranza North menseni mu obuna po yemantamu na yenyina ye nimsa bosome no ne ye obenem bosome march bosome no eye bosome ye tudisi wono ma afibia yede kasa ede for my Ghana ya mamre ya manie ya bakwasem yensu ya hunu ne yepesi ye hunu de for my Ghana honi ya ton my Ghana so de ache wiase nyina so my Ghana titi obi ka titi obi kire ye wazoye enti ekura ye friend nipa hiamwa community no empani ne se ensemoni nti ne yatudini a dia na nam so ema mpanifo ede sa nipa hiamwa edin eto community ne so enti ye boye de pinche mpanifo local community chairman Owura James Najumo eni yen eche de ekofa ba ye a na se de nam so a nipa hiamwa community no edin no wonum enyaye
edin de enye din bone e papa no na troe ese eye betetuo eno mbae no ban so betuo opemi na ono de yaw ono free ene betra na oba na ono do papa so na ono oye gari processing to be beto na ese ono so obaji chire na pata wa ha di papa na ka chire se odipa bi ahia mwa nti ese obetra na nchen nti manso na nka otra no onya ntra obi ndi koro di na nkasa no na ye emwa ubetuma bo yanko na yanko sa bo eno faraba enyanse le botai eno ano yese boni bi wo no mo asetremu a enye sika pese ene na obo pe aboroso sebe ya odo betra ni pantem ene da o mani sebe ya ono oisemi ena obeto akani nti oba esa na papa no gye no nti nkomo yi de ma na ose ono ose nipa bia yere ehia mboa enye se usikani nko a ana anya se yie nko a nti papa ba no ohia mboa ono so be hia no mboa nti na omunko je nti omre to komedi se nipa bia ote sen kra na ohia mboa ehia mboa bebre ko ni die sanse ya pa na mo chichire no mo ko ena na mo nsem ni bi na mo ye settlers otukotra na fonti no omo yere ni ska bia o nsem a omo di enkra ni be ko school akasi do ausla be na ko du form 4 na say odu Jesus wapem
ade ihia ni mo bibiri ihia mo bibiri ye wa cause why you lose you ha you lose you ha you need you ha you need doctor ha ni nyina this is teachment ihia bibia this is teachment ti haide ihia mo bibiri ye okuru ha
bra kuro dama se da kwantempon se na ya driver for no special kasa kese se musi komrika no aya na ehu pa ni enyan ase ye nsuo ni ya batampa ompe boni nti edura bia ono na defend ya kakra kasa aboni pa be minu miensa ba ko na hwere no kwa ba minu na ka de nyame ya aduma omunya ahoden nti ade ya nya speed drum so ha no ma ebe boa ye pa enene nyoma ba ko minu a ehia na eno achi so ye school so ase school minu se muko school mo ho no de a ese structure bi no mo boy no mo de ntabo ede bobo ho ese ase aginsemu community na ya ye boa kakra ni ape nua bi na de akotwokotwo kan se na be ya amframa ba enka school no ngu
ebusia for me kai mo say TMC fashion wo mo na epamatade a ehye me obetumi from 0240308437 0240308437 so na wo mo ayebi ama kama na wa ho fe awiemu de saso na Snash Beauty Parlor wo mo na ye mitima me for Snash e wo 0244 wadaroma 524151 so now so on pambi e ma sabrede ye homeso ne akoton kraye ba Bongo di Faradi agudie mu nsema waboa no ebeto ales.